Hello, welcome or welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. We got a pile here. We got Macari. We've got eBay. And I had some fabric huggers that went out on Etsy. So, yay for that. I'm gonna dive right in. First one up, Macari. Angry Birds. That is cute. I remember when that was just like super popular. So, really not a lot going on. I have been doing a bunch of crafting. I finished up the stocking, which I was going to take a picture of, and completely forgot, and it is all wrapped up now. So, if I can think about it, I'll take a picture of the, like, front of the kit that shows it. It'll just be not exactly the way I made it look, you know? But, yeah. And I started in on some knitting. Here we have, it's a cute little pet tent. Adorbs. When I say I started in on some knitting, I started in on some new knitting. Because I decided to make a scarf and a hat to go with my new coat. And figured that, yeah, I don't know if it'll fit in the small one. Maybe. Yeah, started in on the scarf and the hat, so I went and I found patterns for that. And, yeah, so I started in on the scarf. And it's a bunch of short rows, if you know anything about knitting. So, interesting. I don't do wrap and turns all that often. If you don't do knitting, you have no clue what I'm talking about. Let's just say it's knitting. Like anything else, you have to learn all the different steps and techniques and stitches and just all the things. Here we have, it's a top, skirt, pants, wide leg. Glad they are back. They probably won't stick around for long. At least it's not the mom jeans. Those are horrible looking. I don't care who you are. You do not look good in them. And they make everybody look like they've got a pooch. I'm like, I ain't got no problem with a pooch. In fact, I know a lot of guys who actually prefer a girl to have a little bit of a pooch. They find it really cute. But, yeah. Your pants shouldn't make you look like you have one. It's just not the most... Well, if you don't have one anyways. I guess if you do have a pooch, then who cares? But, yeah. Just never liked the style. Doesn't look good in my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. Here we have girls' nightgown. Let's see here. I've set cross stitch aside, but since I've finished the stocking, I think I may try and pull out a little bit of the cross stitch a little bit as well. But there's some other sewing I think I want to do. I need to finish the vintage pattern versus modern pattern. Yeah, that video that I was trying to put together, I need to finish that. I just haven't gotten around to it. Like I was saying in my last one, it's just been busy trying to figure out where things are going. It's going out to Martha. Here we have, it's a tunic or dress. Pretty sure it's knits. Looks like it. Yeah. So, yeah, I was watching Kevin, Commonwealth Picker, as usual. And he actually was talking about, you know, what's going to happen now. And he was kind of wondering, you know, how people were doing with sales and stuff like that. And you know, he was talking about what he thinks is going to happen with the economy, what Trump is going to put in place and stuff like that. And, you know, that's most likely what's going to happen. It's, you know, always up in the air as to what presidents can and can't do and what the other Congress and all of those, you know, actually implement. Just the last name. Here we have 2 different skirt patterns. They look to be pretty much the same skirt patterns. Okay. Okay. Well, for some odd reason they wanted both. Maybe they need to make 2 of different sizes. I don't like to copy the pattern myself, you know. I just prefer to cut it out on this, and I'm good. Alter it however I need to. That's the thing, I have to alter all my patterns, so having to draw it out, you know, copy the pattern and then do it, it's just like, oh, too many steps, too many steps. Yeah, but Kevin's comment section, very funny. You can tell who voted for who, and you can tell who's the extremist in both sides, and you're just kind of like, okay. I mean, I will admit on, you know, on the left side, they worry that Trump will go through with all the stuff he says. And if he does, you know, top economists, they say we'll have a high probability of going into a recession. So I can understand why they get a little worried. Yeah. Going out to Darlene. Here we have capes, capelets. Cool with the hood. So, yeah. But it's just funny because, you know, people who have good sales, people who are on the right side, are like, my sales have never been better. And, you know, several other people were like, this hasn't affected my sales at all. Other people were like, you know, my sales have been down since the election. And from what I can tell, from what I have seen, people that make sales tend to have a lot more impulse buy type of items, whereas, you know, sometimes these are, but most people like look through several patterns and decide which one they like for what project they want to work on. You know, that's just how we tend to work, you know. So it's rarely as much of an impulse buy. Now, if you're cross-stitcher, cross-stitchers do tons of impulse buys. That is why collecting cross-stitch supplies is another hobby in and of itself, you know. This going out to Susan. And here we have a coat pattern. It's coming up. Well, it's probably basically winter now. I have no clue. I don't feel like the actual days in which summer hits and fall hits and winter and spring hits, I don't feel like they're actually in line with the where the seasons actually are where I live, so I don't keep up with them. But we're in that time frame, so we'll go with that. I don't know if it's going to fit in a small one. So, yeah. It was just, the comment section was funny, you know. People were, you could tell some people, especially some of the more extremist ones, were very much trying to be nice. And, you know, good for them. That's not something the extremists usually tend to do. So, you know, impressed with them for improving in that way. Last name. And here we have, it's a girl's dress, probably for the holidays. It's super cute. So, yeah, it's interesting to see people's views and takes and what they think. And, you know, some people think that if tariffs come in, that we're going to get an influx of buyers because, you know, they'll be trying to buy cheaper. Some people think that inflation will happen and prices will go back up and people won't be able to afford that, you know, in any way, shape, or form. They just won't be buying things, which, you know, could happen. It's just very weird, I think, you know. We're kind of on a projection, and every single time we get a new president wants to change everything up. And I think that's why we're starting to have so many reselling problems, is because nobody just feels safe in this country anymore. Going out to Jacqueline. No, it's not. This is going out to Amber. And here we have a repeat customer. That's cute. I believe it's the top and the skirt. Yeah. Cute. This is definitely an 80s pattern for sure. This has got to be. Oh yeah, it's Butterick. Butterick never says. No, very. This is Vogue. Wow. Butterick does never say. Vogue. These older ones don't, which means it probably is 80s. So, yeah. I just don't know. I have managed to get some more supply coming in, some more inventory coming in. So yay for that, because I was just not getting stuff like at all at one point. And, you know, you have to get new inventory in order to sell things. So I'm happy to see. And that's the thing, I can usually, as we go into the holidays, I can usually find stuff a little bit more because people aren't looking for their inventory as much as they are throughout the rest of the year. This one's going out to Jacqueline. And here we have jacket and skirt. I love a jacket with a front zipper. You know, like not a like coat jacket, but like a jacket, what would you call it? You know, like workwear type of jackets versus coats type of jackets, you know? I like that front zipper. I think it's a really cool little different bit of just interest. So yeah, can definitely seem to find a little bit more inventory during the holiday seasons because people just, they're busy. They don't search for their inventory as much during this time. And the funny thing is that this is when I tend to find all the stuff at the better prices, so that'll be nice. Let's hear this one. It's going out to Danielle. And here we have, this is the cute little puppies, dogs. Done with like yarn and stuff. This is a craft pattern versus a sewing pattern. So, yeah. I don't have a whole lot to talk about. You know, it's just been a lot of trying to research, trying to see what's what, you know, what we're kind of going to be expecting. Again, you know, Kevin's chat, very funny. The people that's just like automatically think that, you know, sales are just automatically going to change. And it's like, it doesn't matter who goes into the presidency. That's just, yeah, you'll probably get some higher sales. You know, right now, especially as we go into the holiday season, you probably would have been getting those sales anyways. We're at that time of year. Let's go out to Grafton. Here we have, there it is, little baby. It's for borders and these towels. So yeah, but Kevin's chat, man, it was just funny reading through some of it. You know, some people are like, my sales just you know, skyrocketed after the election. I was like, well, that's cool. Mine like completely dropped the day after. And yeah. And you know, it's that way across the internet. You have some people saying their sales went up, some people saying their sales went down. I don't think there's anything specific that, you know, really is dictating what is happening, because like, especially the extremists, they very much think that, you know, they're going to see their sales completely drop, or they're going to see their sales skyrocket, because extremists seem to think that, well, they seem to think that everybody's voting for the same person as them, you know? So they think that everybody will respond the same way. And, you know, like I said, one of the reasons this was very, just so two completely different sides of the coin, you know. Let's see here. This is going out to Cynthia. And here we have, it's a skirt pattern. Nice basics to have on hand. Always going to push the basics patterns. They're good patterns to just have on hand for sure. So, yeah, it's just, it's so funny. I'm just like, people are not following what is going on in the, you know, in the actual, like, you know, what's actually going on. They're going by what they think, what they want to feel, because of, you know, their choice in how the election turned out. They're not looking at any sort of actual statistics or data or anything like that, which is one of the reasons I like Kevin's channel. It's because he tends to be, you know, try to look at things and, you know, analyze and stuff like that. It's still pretty obvious which side he was on, but it's what I would expect anyways. So let's see here. This one going out to Elsa. And here we have, this is a jumper pattern. Oh my gosh, this pattern, it has killed me, yo. I've definitely sold 3 of these patterns. Do I remember selling all of them? No. You want to know why I know? It's because one just sold within the past 3 months. And I was looking at it, and this one and the other one both had the wrong SKU. So I had to search. To find the patterns. And it's just like, whoa, you know? Crazy. Like, yeah. And I think what happened is, well, I don't know. Either way, you know, this pattern, apparently popular, because I've sold it multiple times. But it's just like, oh, when you find those things that are not in the place they're supposed to be, you're just like, oh man, because you know you have to search through, you know, few thousand patterns. I mean, luckily, it's like, okay, it's a McCall's pattern, so, and I put like Vogue, Butterick, Simplicity, McCall's, and Quick Sew, and then any sort of other random ones in the very back. So if it's McCall's, I know to look in the very back. So it's, not as difficult to look through, but it's still time consuming. And this is going out to Rebecca. And here we have, I feel like I've sold this pattern before, but it's cute. It's real simple, easy dress, very 90s-ish. And then you can do this little slit thing to, add a little bit of something to it. Still cute. So, yeah. Like I said, it's just been interesting. You just gotta, look. I don't think the small one will fit. No, there's no way the small one will fit. But, yeah, it's just been interesting. Though I have to say, one of the most amusing things the past few weeks that doesn't have to do with reselling is the vast number of people that discovered, why they don't already know this is beyond me, but the vast number of people that discovered that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are actually the same thing. And it's like, how did you not know this? I mean, I was around when, it started, and I didn't fully understand it at that point in time, so I wasn't for it, and then I had massive issues because I wasn't working at the time, and originally if you were single and you didn't have kids and you weren't older, you couldn't get on Medicaid. Well, with the Affordable Care Act, they started allowing single people to get on Medicaid, and when you first got on there, for some odd reason, it wasn't letting you, it was still with the old stuff, so they wasn't putting in any of the new people that could now qualify for Medicaid. So I went on, I said I didn't qualify, so I went on to the state, which had its own version of, cheaper insurance, because we were required to have health care after that. I went on there, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess maybe I can get some cheaper insurance, since apparently I don't qualify for Medicaid. And they're like, oh, you can't get insurance, you qualify for Medicaid. I was like, are you kidding me? So I just was like, nothing I can do. Just gonna, I just didn't worry about it. 6 months later, I get this thing in the mail. Hey, here's your Medicaid. I'm like, ugh. So it was a pain in the butt, but super glad to have it now. It has been a godsend for most people that I know. Anyways, let's go out to Libby. And here we have a last one, people. Last one. These are both costume tops. Very cool. This is an international order, so good for that. It amazes me how many international orders I get, because shipping is not cheap. Seriously. And it's gone up. I think I said in one of my other videos, when I started this a couple years ago, my shipping was at $3.99, and then I had to keep going up little bit by little bit, a few cents here, a few cents there. This time when they changed the shipping prices, I had to jump it up by 30 cents. They really upped the price. I couldn't even pretend. I was just I just went in there one day and was seeing the new prices, and I'm like, oh, that's not gonna work. I had to go in and change my flat rate shipping on my patterns, and I'm just like, ugh. But things will continue to go up in price. That is the way the world works. That's a funny thing. People not understanding inflation. Inflation is down to around 2%. People are like, haha, there's no way, look at prices. It's like, guys, prices and inflation work with each other, but they're not the same thing. And because inflation was up so high, you know, within the past couple of years, we're still, you know, dealing with the effects of that. It has nothing to do with the inflation rate is right now. It means in the future, we should start seeing, we'll still see inflation, but we should start seeing, you know, prices going up by pennies rather than dollars. Anyways, yeah, that'll be it for this one. Please be sure and do all the things, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you feel like it, go ahead and hit the thumbs down. It just isn't going to bother me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.